My wife Brenda and I live in a modest house, and we don't have a huge amount of yard, but we do have a large driveway. And last winter, after the most recent 4-hour shoveling event, I told my wife, we are not going through another winter in Virginia without a snowblower. Well, I had not done anything, procrastinated as usual, and I had no snowblower in my garage. So I got busy in finding out what inventory was available here in Richmond, and I found out that there wasn't much. And while I ended up buying a much larger snowblower than I was planning on, maybe God knew something I didn't know, because this snowblower had the capacity to blow 12 inches of snow at one time. And who would have thought that I would need that 12-inch capacity just a few days later? So we're like you, we're at home on Saturday, and we're marveling at God's creation, snow. And it's just blanketing everything, and there's zero visibility, and the wind's howling. And Pastor Mark makes the call, no church for Iron Bridge on Sunday. And so I began to think and talk with my wife Brenda. We've got a snowblower, and how can we be a blessing? And I called my next door neighbor, and I said, let's go tomorrow on Sunday. I don't have church and you don't have church. Let's go out in the neighborhood and let's be a blessing. He said, I'm in. So we went to the very first house. An elderly lady lives alone, and we started clearing her driveway, and she didn't know we were coming. And so she comes out in a little bit, and the neighbors come over. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What is all this about? We just want to say we've been blessed, and now we're trying to be a blessing. After that, there were 4 men who went to the next house because the 2 neighbors came from both sides and said, hey, I want to help. And people were saying, how much do you charge? How much will it cost to get my driveway done? And we said, well, there's not really a cost. But they kept insisting. And we said, well, here's a way that you could consider. Our church loves to be a blessing. And we like to take cars that people donate, and we like to repurpose them and fix them, and we want to give them away to families who might find themselves in a place where they just can't afford transportation right now, but they desperately need it. If you want to contribute to that, and when we clear your driveway and your sidewalks, we would welcome that. And you know what? People did. We got lots of contributions to that, and we got people telling us that not only did they want to give us a contribution, they wanted to give us a car. We had 3 different people say, I'm going to donate a vehicle to your ministry. And we got to pray with people. We got to just have great conversations about who God is and that He's faithful in His promises. And we got to have great fellowship in and around the neighborhood. So we didn't have church at Iron Bridge this past Sunday, but we had church. We had church in my neighborhood. You've heard us talk about bridge groups. Now, the truth is, we didn't have a bridge group that Sunday, but we had a small group. It started out with my neighbor, just he and I. We knew each other. We went to the first house, and there's 2 guys that want to join us. Well, I didn't know them, and neither did my neighbor. But by the end of the day, we had shared some life together, and we knew each other, and we were making a difference together. And that's why it's so important to consider what we're doing here with group life, with what Jeff Martin's bringing to us, and because we want this kind of expression to be an outreach, an outcropping of what God's doing in your life. He's blessing you, and so you're turning around and being a blessing to your neighbors. What would that look like? And I know that could be intimidating to you, that maybe you're going to join up with some people you don't know. Well, let me tell you, God's in the middle of it, and He's working and He's blessing, and it was a fun day.